Let's welcome in John Jastremski and John Harper to continue the home run derby conversation. Pete Alonso has now done 5 of these. Harp, do you think that he should bow out of the home run derby?
No, not necessarily. He loves it, and this competition could use all the star power it needs. And he was probably the biggest name in there because he's won it a couple times. He's hit all the home runs in his career, so I got no problem with him doing it. But he's having more and more trouble as it goes on. He brought back Dave Joust, the guy who had pitched to him when he won it the last time. That wasn't a great combination this time. So I'm not sure what he has to do to change his routine. Maybe he needs to go back to doing the deadlifts, JJ.
The deadlifts or the Rocky montage or whatever it takes. Here's my thing with Alonso in the home run derby. If Pete Alonso is in the All-Star game, do you, bro? That's the way I look at it. You're in the game. You're a participant. You're there for the All-Star festivities. I love the idea that you care this much about the event. My issue is if Pete's not going to be in the game, I don't need to see Pete in the home run derby. That, to me, is do not make a special exception now where you could go and enjoy your All-Star break, but we got to parachute to Chicago or we got to parachute to Philadelphia just because you missed a home run derby. So my rule for Pete, and again, it's Pete's decision, not mine, so he can do whatever he wants to do. I would prefer, if Pete's in the All-Star game, I'd love to see him in the event. If he's not in the All-Star game,
that
stay
might have
home.
been the only reason he was in the game, because
well, let's be real. He shouldn't have been in the game over Nimmo or Lindor.
Lindor, right. Exactly.
Very true. All right, Harp, you mentioned star power. JJ, no Judge, no Ohtani. This year's field was full of young stars really trying to prove themselves. Do you think that the Derby does need more star power?
So I know on the surface a lot of people are going to say yes, because you think about the big stars and the bright stars of baseball. Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, Juan Soto, they're not participating in the event. My counter to that would be Gunnar Henderson is one of the biggest stars of the first half of this season. He was in the home run derby. Bobby Witt Jr., who was the runner-up, he's had an incredible first half. He's one of the most electrifying players the sport has to offer. He was in the home run derby. To me, Harp, I like the idea of somebody like that emerging onto the scene and then becoming that next guy. Like Aaron Judge, he said, hey, been there, done that. I've won the home run derby. I don't need to do it again. Give these other guys a chance to go and make a name for themselves.
Oh, I agree. I like the young guys in it, too. The guys with the big names like those guys you mentioned. But you put Judge in there, and there's a lot more people watching it, I think.
Very true.
He's the biggest home run hitter in the game. And Ohtani, he was in it once. I forgot he was even in it. But if he goes in it, that's another set of eyeballs that is on it.
He was a dud when he was in it, too.
He was, yeah. But I would love to see him do it again. Soto is another guy. And even Yordan Alvarez, big, strong guy. And, I think the more real, true power hitters you get, the more exciting it becomes. You don't want this to become the NBA slam dunk.
Right, Harp, I was just about to say that, just with the dunk contest.
But it's not like that with guys like Gunnar Henderson and Bobby Witt Jr.,
I think that's a good point. It actually is, exciting to watch, and extremely competitive. The dunk contest, I don't know, they got to do something.
Not exactly Mac McClung.
It's terrible, exactly. Harp, you wrote an interesting column for the website. How was Monday night a microcosm for Alonso's season?
It just felt like, Chelsea, that this, as I wrote, this is supposed to be his happy zone, the Derby. He loves the Derby. He's won it a couple times. But it felt almost like he was putting too much pressure on himself, just as he has in the first half of this season, with the free agent looming over him. He wants the big payday. We all know that. Feels like he put a ton of pressure on himself. And this one, it looked like he was just over swinging from the start. And at one point, they asked Todd Frazier, who played with Alonso, who was doing the commentary, asked him what he'd say to him as it was going on. He'd say, I'd slow your mind down. So it was indication that he felt like Alonso was just rushing, trying to do too much. And that just feels like his whole year kind of in a microcosm, yeah.
Definitely was pressing. Now, new home run derby format, how much of that maybe played a role? He tried to get the juju back, going back to the old coach that helped them win a derby. But, yeah, Pete has put a lot of pressure on himself. I wondered going into this year, Chelsea, hey, contract year, prove it year, what is it going to resemble? It has not been as nightmarish as, let's say, Michael Conforto or what we're seeing with the Yankees with Gleyber Torres. Yeah. But it's not on the same level, clearly, as what Aaron Judge was able to do, which was the ultimate bet-on-yourself season, maybe the best ever bet-on-yourself season you're ever going to see. And listen, for Pete now, second half of this year, Derby's done, first half of the year is done. This second half is going to go a long way in determining how much money he makes in the offseason and whether or not his future is going to be here with the Mets.
You just have to wonder if he can relax and just let his power take over instead of putting all this pressure on himself. But what does this mean for the second half? It's going to be really intriguing to see how it plays out.